Hi guys, welcome back to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Max.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Just two of us again, Mike. That's
it is for this one. Yep.
Just for now.
Played a couple of videos. He'll be back soon.
Will probably be put in between videos where Daz will be here. You're fine. This is Sunny V2, which we've done before. If you remember the name.
Right. Okay.
This is the Christian TikToker who was secretly a monster.
Ooh, right. What sort of monster?
That's exactly the point.
That's the thing, innit?
And I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because it's to do with religion. So
Right. Oh, gee.
Fine religion, no issue. Just not going to step on eggshells here.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Joe Rogan made it seem like he was holier than holy. As a Christian youth pastor, he dedicated his TikTok to showing respect for women until 6 different people exposed him for his own secretly terrible history. You could see the red flags in early tweets like this one. I am a Christian, and I support LGBTQ, and I support BLM, and I support people of other faiths, and I support a women's right to choose. The need to vocalize his own morality was almost strangely excessive, and his TikTok videos weren't any different. He wanted to punch all men who talked about how women dressed, while reminding his female followers that they had total control of their body. When he wasn't supporting women, it was instead minorities.
It's homophobia, racism, misogyny, you name it, all thinly veiled as a joke, and you're not fooling anybody.
Which people found suspicious long before he was exposed.
But when this dude is making almost his entire personality about respect women, always be nice to women, respect, it gets a little overboard, to be honest.
When questioned about his motives, Joe Rogan snapped pretentiously,
Just imagine being so worried about losing your male privilege that you would call anything that has to do with equality for women anti-men.
believing that when all men are killed, he'd be spared because of his TikToks. And when he did also occasionally support men,
Now I've talked about men getting body shamed, women getting body shamed.
the objective was still the same. Try to make himself seem like a person who did no wrong. The caption of his merch was literally "Be Better," which seemed true to him as a church office manager and youth pastor on the weekends.
So depending on how long you've been following me, you may or may not know that I'm actually a very religious person.
People therefore heavily respected him, even making stan accounts such as Lovely Joe Robe, while comments on his live streams read, "I have so much respect for you. You speak for others and it makes me so happy." Any videos criticizing him were met with thousands of dislikes until people became suspicious of Joe Robe's supposed morality. In late 2020, a TikToker named Gemini Official was exposed for his relationships with multiple young girls. Being in line with Joe Robe's content, people asked him to talk about it, although for whatever reason, Joe Rogan avoided the topic.
Message Joe Rogan saying, hey, this is a problem, can you speak about it? Which is bizarre that it would take you so long to talk about somebody who's grooming children.
Joe Rogan later explained on Discord that denouncing the actions was simply too obvious, although having previously claimed the goal of his TikTok was to create a safe space for young people, it seemed odd that Joe Rogan didn't want to talk about it. Perhaps he was simply avoiding drama, but this wasn't the only example where Joe Rogan deflected an obvious topic. He'd become friends with a TikToker named The Calvin Brandel, whose videos promoted a similar sentiment to those made by Joe Rogan. Well, turns out he'd been doing exactly what he disavowed, explaining he thought it was okay because he was TikTok famous.
I felt that with TikTok my ego was super inflated and I felt like I was invincible, I was unstoppable, I couldn't make any mistakes.
Despite having photos together on Instagram, Joe Rogan avoided the situation.
You have no problem calling out problematic men, but it seems like the problematic man is your friend and you're a little quiet.
Eventually addressing what had happened with this iconic statement.
I'll say it again. If you groom somebody, you are disgusting. The scum of the earth.
Joe Rogan, however, was doing exactly this himself.
This was somebody that I felt safe around.
4.5 million followers.
I know, mate.
Jeez.
I don't actually remember this person much. It's quite a shame because if you see someone like that online in terms of like someone really pushing positivity and things like that, there's always gonna be something in you where you go,
Yeah,
where,
you're going a bit
where
too far.
Where is it? What's the wrong thing? And it's usually right,
problem.
which is a shame.
Yeah.
But it's when you go too far, like that one that was when all the men are killed, can I be spared? Like, come on. It seems like he's going along the sort of like the nice guy, right? If you know what that is, the term of like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Where like they just kind of sort of submit themselves and be like, "Oh, aren't guys the worst?
Yeah,
Please have sex."
Yeah, I support you. I support
yeah.
everything you
Women,
do. What
am I right?
you got your rights are right up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we do support women's rights, but it's sad you have to say that. But you don't make it your personality to be like
everyone's right, shouldn't it? You know, you don't need to go down one side more than the other. It's just like everyone should be treated fairly and the same.
If I came in and was like, "Oh, I just hate men," you know,
yeah,
you just like, Max, shut the fuck up.
Like, yeah, I know. It's
just say your name and react.
Yeah, it's just some, isn't it? But I mean,
it's an interesting because a lot of people are like that these days.
Yeah,
like, and it's very worrying because then.
It's like a lot of things. It's like a trend, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Which is growing and growing and growing.
Absolutely,
but then a few years, probably some people are going to something else. It's it's a bit strange. But people see things like this and think, I can make money from it. I can, get a lot of followers if I say the right things. And sometimes you wonder whether it's just sort of like, if they actually mean it, if they actually feel it, or
exactly. Out of those 4.5 million, how many do you reckon are kids under the age of 18? It's gonna be most.
Well, there'll be a lot, won't there? I'm guessing that's probably the audience he's going for.
And then if something what we're about to see comes out, and you go, well, then who are kids supposed to trust?
That many
followers.
They can be a big influence, can't they?
Oh,
so it's really dangerous if it's the wrong person doing it.
His image is squeaky clean, and then obviously something heinous comes out, and you go, well, who are you supposed to trust?
That's exactly
Well, let's see what he's done.
Yeah.
But I don't feel safe around him anymore because he's a groomer.
On one unassuming Wednesday, 17-year-old TikToker DilG16 uploaded the following video.
This video will be about one of the biggest hypocrites I have ever met in my life, Joe Robe. John is a disgusting and terrible hypocrite who abuses his platform by using his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys. He has done this to multiple people, including me. John first followed me whenever I had about 30,000 followers and joined my live stream and asked for my Snapchat, so I gave it to him. After Snapchatting for a few weeks, he asked me if I wanted to get an Airbnb with him on my 18th birthday, which was over 3 months away. He started to send me links to 1-bedroom Airbnbs, and he offered to purchase me alcohol if I went. And this is him talking about the 1-bedroom. He knew that I did not want to get the Airbnb, so he thought if he invited one of my IRL friends, I would want to go. That's him asking when he was going to turn 18.
And while Joe Robe was at least waiting until their 18th birthday, the group chat they shared wasn't quite so clean.
During one of the Zooms with all of my TikTok friends, John thought it would be a good idea to have us all take a BDSM score test and send him our results. Keep in mind, the youngest was 15 years old and the oldest were 19, and there were only 2 19-year-olds and everybody else was 17 and below.
Which had happened just a month before Joe Robe's 28th birthday. DilG added one more detail before the video finished.
I found out that there are multiple people that John has groomed.
As a person named Coco then also came forward.
He started asking like different questions, like what state do you live in, and do your parents let you travel, and do you like to travel, and and he offered to buy me a room with him. He offered to buy me alcohol. This is the one quote I remember him talking to me. I may be a pastor, or I may work for God, but I'm not against kids having fun. I should have realized it right there.
Well, that's it for a bit.
So, I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Mate.
Like I say, you come across as this holier-than-thou person. Can't do anything wrong, support everyone. Then it's you find out that someone's like that. It's proper grim.
That's
honestly.
Really that whole BDSM test thing is fucking bonkers.
Yeah, I've not heard of that before.
I've done one of them as like a joke within a group. I know everyone's going to come mad about that. You basically just put in like your preferences sexually.
Yeah.
And then it kind of scores you on like
what
you are. Dude, that's a 15-year-old. How are they supposed to know?
Geez. It's clearly so wrong. It's unbelievable.
Luckily I think it's Dylan, the 17-year-old. He seemed pretty switched on.
Yeah.
Because you can be the power that you can have over someone being like big on TikTok, where people will put you on a pedestal like that. You can, especially with like easily manipulable people like kids.
Oh, kids, absolutely, big time.
Because they'll look at that as like a role model. And you go like, oh my god, this person's talking to me. And it starts getting parasocial, and that's how people like big TikTokers and that, and groomers and things like that, they do sort of use the power in that way.
Oh, big time.
And it's when you actually think about the thought process that they're going through, it's horrific.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad to see.
You wonder how many people he's done it to as well, don't you? When he's got that many followers, I mean, it's probably the tip of the iceberg, I'm guessing.
I know.
But
it's just so sad to One, I think, to be fair, my opinion on social media is just you kind of have to limit kids on that.
Yeah.
Or have like a kid only app where you just have like 17 and below.
Yeah.
And just
Right.
have
Okay.
them on there because
they need to do something about because things like this. I mean, anyone
so
could do it,
often.
couldn't they? So
it happens far too often.
well, it's all it's not like a one-off, is it? You know,
There's not enough security at all. It is a massive shame.
Yeah.
Then there was another.
I can't go into specific details about what happened between me and Joro because it is quite not safe for work.
And another after that.
He'd also make promises about getting Airbnbs and meeting up with us. He promised alcohol and hot tubs.
Joe Robe's accusers then made a Google Doc listing everything else he'd done. He'd tried to get blank and blank to create an OnlyFans once he turned 18 and said he'd set it up for him and subscribe. Also strangely bribing the group to call him hot and locking a girl who was also intoxicated out of Zoom for calling him old and refusing to call him hot. Papa Gut talked about the document in this video here, after which he'd be messaged a story worse than every other one combined. I ran a small fan account for Joe Robe on Instagram. He eventually asked for my Snapchat. He told me no one else had his Snapchat and made me promise to not give anyone it or to tell anyone what we talk about. Conversations got really weird and he sent me a lot of dirty pictures, 4 of which were included to prove he wasn't lying. I was also 14 at the time. He didn't even bother to ask how old I was or for any form of identification, but he would call me a baby a lot and would try and force me to call him daddy. To make matters worse, John's church profile explained, outside of his work at St. John, he is a private music teacher with over a dozen students, and up until recently was the activities chair for the Northern Sky District of the Boy Scouts of America. But wait until you hear why he left his previous job. Someone messaged one of the accusers, I wanted to reach out because I'm on staff at the church he used to work at. He was removed from staff over 2 years ago and he was really upset with our church and strict protocols for working with youth, so he left to go to another church. We're currently in the process of contacting the other church and places he's at as well as local authorities. Joe Robe's LinkedIn partially confirms the story's legit, as it shows he previously worked in the very same church as the lady who told the anecdote. Unsurprisingly, people demanded Joe Robe also lose his new job,
St. John Lutheran Church. You have some explaining to do.
With Papa Gut even calling the church directly.
This is the church that he works at. I know this because I called the church that he works at and I asked him if he works there. They said yes. I told them that they were very serious and credible allegations. They immediately hung up after they said, oh, thank you.
Despite hanging up the phone, the church quickly deleted Joe Robe from their website before iSpeak1906 extracted an unofficial statement.
The pastor reached out and he wants to remain anonymous. However, the bishop is aware and he has been terminated and authorities have been contacted, and that's about all that we have.
But the bigger question was, how did Joe Robe himself respond? Did he make a self-aimed TikTok about his own heinous actions? Well, no. He deleted his TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, even his LinkedIn, and hasn't been heard from since. His refusal to address the 2 previous situations suddenly all made sense, while others were less surprised. The accusation can't be real. A white knight influencer being secretly an awful person is unheard of. Not even surprised. It's always these types of men that end up being predators, but no one was less surprised than one of Joe Robe's former friends. As someone who personally knows John Bell and lived with him at university for a year, I can assure you that he's not the good guy here, and that these accusations line up with his past behavior. The dude was all-knowing, manipulative, homophobic, and tried to give off this ultropious Christian facade. Nothing about his online presence was genuine. Karma is taking a toll on him, and I'm glad he's getting thrown off the internet. Before any of this happened, Vegan Teacher had stated, John Robert Bell, you're going straight to hell. And it turns out her song hit the nail on the head.
Fucking Vegan
Wow.
Teacher. Wow. There you go.
What a piece of work.
Yeah, I know.
What
That's
a piece
terrible.
of work. Jesus.
It kind of says it all when they delete everything. But
Yeah.
that's a full social media wipe. That's
That's a sign of guilt if
damning.
nothing else is,
Yeah.
mate. That's a case of like he's just gone off
Absolutely.
off the radar now, hasn't he?
It's
But
just.
you think he's got to be in trouble with the authorities though? Still,
You'd hope so,
surely.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
there's
when this was. It said 3 years ago on a lot of the.
so much evidence against him there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
Especially you got like what? It's like 7-8 people coming out
The
there.
bad thing is there'll still be other people like that at the moment
Oh,
doing
yeah.
exactly the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's But like I say, it's protecting younger people, isn't it? It's how they do it, and I think
it's so hard to do. Like it's you'll never be able to fully do it. I think unless you.
I'm sure 100% it's going to be difficult, but you think the social media companies will be able to at least do something else that can at least be I don't know, be a bit more protective for younger people.
I think they're quite protective of like the youngest in terms of like 0 to 5 years old, because you can do that quite easily by just sticking them on like YouTube have YouTube Kids.
Yeah,
you can just do that. But when it's teenage years, when it's, I'd probably say they're the most vulnerable in terms of social media, because they're interacting with people and the message and have their own opinions and things like that. And it's very obviously puberty itself is very emotional. It's so trying to tell all of this the age group from like 11 to 18 that you can't interact with anyone else. It just won't work. They'll find a way.
The genie's out the bottle, unfortunately, when it comes to social media. It's just sort of it's out there now, isn't it? So it's I don't know. It's just a way trying to find a way of controlling it that little bit better. Like I say, for that age group where get to teenage years, got a mind of their own, and you know parents think, I'll just trust them to do whatever. But
they'll go
it just
shows said on them. Like, again, they'll find a way no matter what.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
That's why I think they wanted to start doing. I think you got to scan your ID to make social media now.
Oh, right, okay.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's bad for people who don't like the data stuff with the government, which is completely fair. But that it just straight away.
At least it's something, isn't it? Yeah.
You can then be placed. Show them your eye, get placed into the kids section. And it's like a censored section compared to, because I can't believe there's in social media an 11-year-old can talk to a 50-year-old. Just one message.
It is a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Just ridiculous.
It really is.
Yeah,
but
there's no instance where that should happen, bar family.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's always people out there that will try and find a way around it and manipulate the system, and it's just proper
horrible.
grim. But they just need, I don't know, more controls in place somewhere along the line. But how are you going to do it?
Exactly.
Like, 'cause it's so big and widespread. It's
it's one of the biggest issues I think today.
Yeah, big time.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But sadly, it's not our job. It's up to them to sort it out.
Absolutely,
we'll see.
But yeah, good video anyway.
Yeah, very good video
one.
as always. Sonny VT is great. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.